Shut up and sit down.
What's going on, guys? This is MMA Complex. My name is Josh.
And I'm James.
And it is April 21st, 2020. Overall, pretty good, huh? How you been, man? Good?
Not too bad, man. Not too bad. Work is work.
Yeah.
I like during all this the craziness of like the COVID and stuff. I've saved a lot of money because you can't really go out.
Same.
And the only money that I spend is like on bills and like groceries.
The only thing I think I've really spent money on, aside from groceries or anything like that, is during this whole lockdown, not much. I haven't really made any purchases. Maybe some video games. That's about it. Probably spent like $35 total on that, and then nothing really. Before this, though, I was spending quite a few on concerts, which are all now postponed and soon to be canceled. I had this weekend. It was supposed to be the Eagles, and that got moved to September, which I'm fairly certain at the Forum is not going to open up in September.
No.
Like that amount of people? No.
No.
So I think it's officially probably going to be canceled at some point.
You know, it sucks too. Is like that. I'm surprised the system of Jonathan announced anything, but that's gonna be.
That's it. That's done, right?
Yeah. It's like what, like in 3 weeks?
Yeah. There's no way.
No.
They haven't announced anything that they canceled the show.
Mm-mm. I mean, it's canceled though.
You should try to get your.
Well, do you want Ticketmaster?
Yeah, that's something.
I do no refunds, right?
Well, Ticketmaster and I think our Live Nation and Ticketmaster are two completely separate.
I think
right?
I think Live Nation is a promotion, no?
I think so.
They're
that's true. They're the promoters.
And then Ticketmaster is a distributor.
Yeah. So
So I mean, we can't get our money back.
I heard they're getting sued because of that. Like they recently changed those laws. Or not laws, but they're in the contract. They're fine print. I think they were in the lawsuit. It's claiming that they updated it during the coronavirus, that they didn't. They're pretty much frauding out people. Yeah, that was pretty much the biggest expense I've had before this whole shutdown. So I'm still waiting to see how some of those shows will pan out, because we did give some money. I didn't buy the tickets for System Down, but I gave the money, or at least Liz gave the money. So she's gonna have to. Actually, I gotta talk to her about that.
So she bought them?
No, her friend bought them. Her friend bought 4. So we gave her friend money. So the show's canceled. I want them, let's get the money back. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
But what's the fine print for Live Nation? Is it like, unless it's canceled, they're not going to give it back to you, or they're just not going to give it back to you?
I thought that was Ticketmaster. I think Live Nation just I don't know what they're.
Okay.
I don't know what they entail as far as
because I bought tickets off of another site. I think TickPix. And that's a pretty good site. I usually have the cheapest rate on there. And they were saying that they will refund the money for canceled shows. If it's postponed, then you have the option to resell, or be issued that amount is just going to get transferred over to the new dates.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. And if it's canceled, then you get your money back.
And then on every Monday, Metallica does a full stream of one of the shows.
Oh, like a replay?
They replay a full show from a random year, and then usually one of the band members does the introduction.
My girl's niece, is a BTS fan. They did that 2 nights straight of old shows, and you best believe that she especially was up right till most of the night, I would assume.
Damn.
And she's probably not alone. I'm sure there's tons of. Yeah. But to do 2 nights to them, they're gonna stay up. It's like, you freaking deprive these kids of sleep. It's like,
that's true. No, Metallica does it every Monday. They do it from 5
That's
p.m.
fine. But imagine if they did like Die Hard, super Die Hard. I watch anything on YouTube. Like maybe even a little more than yourself. Who will stay up and watch those concerts?
I pick and choose what I want to watch. But this last one they did last one, it was awesome.
Imagine 2 nights of like all night shows, and then you like.
Oh yeah, I couldn't. I don't think I can do that.
No.
Like I don't even watch every show. I think I watched this one because this one had it was a concert that was in 2015 when they did a lot of deep cuts. So
yeah.
I watched that one, but and then they have it on demand for the rest of the week. But
yeah,
I like the little introduction because each band member does a live intro.
That's cool. Yeah, so that was a big expense, and I think you were planning a trip, right?
Yeah,
or was it Japan? And no, that's possibly.
Well, we're gonna do Japan, then the COVID happened. Then we're gonna do our European run. We're gonna do we're thinking of doing Germany, London, and Ireland.
Okay.
But that's out of the way. So we're gonna do Alaska, but I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. So we're just gonna wait for a vaccine and be saving money up.
I'm going. Yeah.
We have like over $1,000 in savings for our trip. So whenever there's a vaccine, we'll have like more than enough to fly out.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do Japan probably when the vaccine comes out.
Yeah. And then
when the time comes, then we'll fly out. When there's a vaccine out, then we'll just get a vaccine.
Yeah.
And then we'll fly out. And then I think one of the stops is China. So I told my girlfriend we're just gonna stay in the airport and fucking walk anywhere.
It's like
fuck that. I'm not gonna even go to the restroom when I'm in China. I'm just gonna fucking sit down there and be a good boy.
Yeah. It's gonna just affect travel, and it's gonna be crazy to see how, like, I know some states are loosening. That it's always getting reported that it's loosening. It's, their restrictions, but then it's like, and then what? And then there's another outbreak somewhere, or
I think a lot of those states. I mean, the health experts are saying don't do it because if you do it now, the thing that happened back in March is going to happen all over again.
Yeah, you're just going to have another surge of cases, and then people are getting sued, and because their businesses are opening up and they're getting infected while at those businesses. And
what irks me is like these protesters who say it's fake and are protesting.
I wouldn't put it past. I wouldn't say past him, maybe past his people who have ulterior motives to get people to organize, to rile up, maybe get one person to try to put on protests of maybe up to 200 people, which is not super difficult to do. And then, there's that. There's maybe Russians are doing social media attacks again, and creating like organized fake organizers rallying up people, all through Facebook and targeting them. And there's that. A lot of them are happening in blue states, and I don't think it's a coincidence. I'm just saying I don't think it's a coincidence.
Yeah, it makes sense.
That I think most people are okay with still, even if they are struggling financially, be okay with like following the restrictions and stuff like that. But be safe than sorry.
I mean, it's gonna be a while before things go back to normal, especially with this recession that we're gonna hit. A lot of people aren't working.
Yeah.
I mean, there's record numbers of like unemployment. It's just gonna. I mean, for drivers, I think gas is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Tank, but I think once things go back to normal, it's not gonna really go back to normal because then it's gonna take us a long time to recover from this.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be crazy. It's crazy to see how long it goes on for and everything. Yeah, it's insane. Obviously not a lot of fights going on. Not yet. Today it was officially announced on May 9th that date is confirmed, and it will take place somewhere in Florida, the state of Florida. This is, I think, reported by MMA Fighting. Pretty much every one of these news sources kind of has been, breaking the news. Obviously, we talked about Florida and the WWE and possibly UFC taking advantage of that last episode. And then now this episode is confirmed that will be the case, and that Florida will be the location. Not sure exactly where, but probably maybe a local gym, maybe like ATT or something like that. Where
that's so weird though, huh?
Boca Raton. Where are they? Boca Raton? Not Boca Raton.
What? AK?
Yeah, Florida.
Oh no, it's not AK. It's isn't it
ATT.
ATT, yeah.
Yeah. What city is it in? Sounds like a Boca Raton. It's not Boca Raton.
I'm not sure.
I forgot the name of it. I forgot what city they're in. But yeah, it could be like an ATT facility, a big ass facility like that. You know, you can shut all the lights down. You know, yeah. I guess hook it up with sound and all that. Small
Is it
crew.
big enough? Oh, it's gonna be a close set.
And I think the amount of people they can have in the place, it'll be a little bit more than 10. I think they probably are abiding by the 50.
Probably 50
year, rule. So,
so
a little bit more doable.
So it might be the Ultimate Fighter cage on the smaller one.
Not yet. I think Vegas. I don't think they have an official word on Vegas yet. Like
no, I'm saying the cage they'll be using. It's gonna be like the Ultimate Fighter fights where it's gonna be the smaller cage.
It's probably a smaller cage. Yeah, I'm not sure. But some of these gyms have big ass cages, so especially if they try to mimic those,
Yeah, real life scenarios.
Or some have 2 cages, I'm sure, to fit different both sizes.
That's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I could try to pull up the news source and to see where exactly if there is any
well, it gives Justin Gaethje more than enough time to prepare for Tony Ferguson. I think Gaethje is. There's 2 guys that I think gives Tony a hard fight. Khabib and Justin. I think Justin's gonna give him a tough time. I mean, it's no guarantee win for Tony. I think it's gonna be a pretty even match.
Yeah, and then obviously Justin Gaethje in the Cowboy fight proves that he can deal with guys that are a little bit unorthodox when it comes to their striking. Can avoid some big shots, and I think Tony has fewer big shots to watch out for than like a Cowboy. Cowboy would have like a head kick or something. Tony's more of a volume guy. So I think I agree. I think Tony's or Gaethje, I'm sorry, is a tough go for Tony. Like, with that power, the way he took out Cerrone with that punch,
and then I think just it's something that he doesn't use in fights. He has really good wrestling.
Yeah, he's really good at wrestling, which he doesn't use, and he's avoided having to use.
Striking's on point.
Let me see.
He just has that mental. He's mentally fit just to bring it on.
Yeah,
I think it's not going to be a fight where a lot of people think that Tony's going to win. I think it's going to be a fight where he could lose. Tony can lose.
Yep. Okay, we're going to see people.
I mean, I'm assuming that it might be a smaller cage.
Here it might be in Jacksonville. Yeah, it'll be somewhere near Jacksonville. So they'll be able to fly into Jacksonville and then go to an undisclosed location in Jacksonville. I don't know who. We have to probably find out what local gyms are big enough to house, production like this.
And how come they can't use it like an arena? Why does it have to be?
I think it's probably too expensive. I think it'd be too expensive if they held it in an arena. I think Bellator, who also announced a tentative schedule in the summer, they are going to hold it on like a Hollywood kind of lot, like a Viacom, they're owned by Viacom. Or Paramount.
Paramount, yeah.
They could do it. They could probably end up doing it over in Paramount Studios.
That'd be cool. You can go, but I don't think
so either. Especially in this state, yeah. So yeah, which makes sense. They're owned by Viacom. They have most of their media events, their big media events, on the Paramount lot, and yeah, it makes sense. Why not have it on the sound stage over there? Obviously, the commission would have to regulate some, the fighters and all that, but
right.
And you have officials there, but sound stage, cheap, affordable. I mean, sure. There's no TV promotions or productions going on right now, so it's a perfect location.
Yeah, that's true.
Time?
No, we're good. I just checked it.
Oh,
yeah, we're good.
There we go. So that's Bellator's news, is that they're gonna plan for a June, July return, Hollywood soundstage on most like Paramount Studios. That's where they're gonna have it. With the UFC in the May 9th, I think the locations in play are Florida is probably the number one.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they get a regular area to film in. Once Vegas opens up, which will probably be by the end of the month, if not next month, you'll have early next month. You'll have the Performance Institute, and then Fight Island is still somewhat in play for some of their foreign fighters. And yeah, and I think it's cool to actually have a date. It seems like a doable date rather than like last weekend.
Is it gonna be on ESPN or a pay-per-view?
I don't know, and I wouldn't even know the number it's going to be. Is it going to be 249?
Yeah, because if it's gonna be a Fight Night card, then it won't be a number pay-per-view.
Well, I think it's gonna be a pay-per. It's gonna be basically the fights that we should have got last week plus some. So it's gonna be a pay-per-view. Is it gonna be 249 or are they gonna skip it and go straight to 250? Because they're supposed to be around the same time as 250, and they canceled all their April and May Fight Night events. I think they canceled them. I think with the arenas and all that stuff, they canceled them. Probably issued refunds, but they officially done those.
So I'm assuming Disney's okay with this going on.
Yeah, they should be. Yeah,
just because they're so following the regulations.
Yeah, and then it's in Florida. It's all legal. It's all legit, so they can do it. Yeah.
So do you think like theme parks will be open over there?
Probably first over there, yeah, or in the smaller states. Yeah, I can see that. Here, it's a different story.
Yeah, because we're actually thinking of going to Florida just for the theme parks, but not anymore. I mean, I'm saying before.
I mean, you might have a good chance of getting in.
I didn't want to. I don't before you get it. Yeah, I don't want to risk it. I come back. I'll die the following week. Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah. So,
but it was something that we discussed to do the Universal because it has all the Harry Potter rides there, and then So, but who knows now?
You know what? So that's all the upcoming fight news. So we'll get more as the time goes on when it comes to this situation and May 9th and the schedules for both Bellator and UFC. Non-MMA news. I recently watched all 3 of Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans. They're so freaking. They're just great. Like all the movies. I watched all 3 back to back.
Did you watch the so like you like the Venom one?
Well, so we'll go first one. I think is almost perfect to what it is. It's kind of a little comic booky, but still serious and still well acted and done. And the action scenes and the fight scenes with him and Green Goblin are just great. Where he gets all messed up and part of his mask is torn. You always see his eye, and he's kind of bloody. Like I forget how really good that movie is. Part 2, I think, was better in my memory than actually watching it.
Was that Sandman?
That was Dr. Octopus.
Okay.
Doc Ock. And then, so that one was great. And it's still a great and well-acted movie. But it I don't know, it didn't keep my attention as much in my memory as it once did. I always held that one really, really high. And not saying it's a bad movie. It's not. But some of the scenes I felt were like I found myself not paying attention to it as much. And then I watched the third one, which I like. I think most people like the least for good reason. But aside from those reasons, it was a pretty good movie. Like the action was good, the story was good. The relationship between Mary Jane and Spider-Man in all 3 movies was actually really good. And Liz was like, my girl, she was loving it. She's just like, who writes this stuff? This freaking is so good. Like the drama and the emotional tension.
That was Kristen Dunst, right?
Kristen Dunst. Yeah,
she played.
That it was so well written, and you unless you watch it again, you forget how well written their relationship is, and how crazy and just back and forth it is. And in one movie, it's crazy. It's like it's weird to see it like now, all 3, and then but the third one I thought was better than I remember. Like I was kind of held that at the bottom, but the movie overall, like some of the moments were just like really well done, and like the drama it was I don't know. I think I won't say it's better than part 2, but it was a lot better than I remember it being. And then aside from the way they did Venom, where they kind of killed them off, they made them kind of small.
And then it can become like Spider-Man's costume.
Yeah, it's because of like Spider-Man's costume. So Venom was the issue, a big issue, the way they did his character. And then Toby, evil Toby.
Yeah, it's kind of emo.
Where they overdid it, because there was a point where it was funny and it was pretty crazy. It was funny to see him that way, and some of the scenes were just like where he obviously he's going against how he normally is. The part that was over the top, where they jumped a shark, where it's just like it was too much, was that whole like club scene where he's dancing and she's performing, Mary Jane's performing on stage, and he kind of shows her up, and they come into this big emotional fight, and it gets physical. Like,
I do remember that part.
When Stacy was there with them, I think that scene was like just over the top. And then at one point, Hobgoblin, or like the son, goes and asks Mary Jane to trick Peter into going into one of his traps or whatever the fuck. But the way, so she easily just did it. Where it's like, fuck this bitch, man. She didn't even put up a fight, and she did this whole performance.
Yeah.
And trying to,
yeah, she pretty much left you.
To fake him out, because she feared that Green Goblin was going to try to kill him. Those scenes were which I could see why fans hated that one so much. Yeah. Because that they are bad, and they should be hated. But
I actually watched that movie at the ArcLight Theater in Hollywood.
Which one? Third?
Part 3, yeah.
Yeah.
You been there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it there.
Yeah.
But they have so they have a regular movie theater, and then in the back is their specialty theater where they have they only show certain movies and that. I think it's called the Dome. You been to the Dome?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember when they introduced the movie, the guy that introduced the movie was wearing a Spider-Man costume. I do remember that.
It's such a good, watch it again. I
gotta watch it again after you broke it down.
Yeah, watch it with the family or whatever, but watch all three, maybe 2 in one night or one the next night, if you have time. But it's crazy to watch those movies again. I don't know, I haven't seen them in a long while.
And when would you want to watch them again?
I think they just have their on the streaming services right now. So, but yeah, you should watch all three. I think it's a lot better than I remember it being, and I would say, remembering all three, and all three Spider-Mans, I would probably put Toby as number one.
Number one Spider-Man?
Number one Spider-Man. And the reason being is because the Garfield movies were good in the sense I liked the action, the pace of the movies, the realistic parts of it, were a little bit more the serious acting.
But it's Pretty Boy, though.
I liked Gwen Stacy. I thought she was great. And I like the way they did the lizard in the first one. I like that movie more than I like the second. The reason I didn't like the second because I didn't like Jamie Foxx in that one. I thought his Electro was just
over the top.
It was it was bad. And the way he even portrayed him before he became Electro, I just didn't like it. But I say Toby is number one because one, he's good looking enough to where the girls will find him cute and interesting, but he's not overly pretty. And then he sells it really well. He's got that cuteness for the girls, but also he's nerdy, and you believe their nerdiness.
But do you think he can pass as a high school student?
A senior-ish, yeah, older, yeah. Do I think they looked a little bit too? Yes, but not too old to where I was like, no, they're not high school students. He's right there, especially in the first one. If you watch the first one again, he does look young, and I could believe him being early college, late high school. I could believe it.
What about MCU Spider-Man?
I like him. I think he's the best high school I think he's the best of age Spider-Man.
Like Peter Parker?
Yeah, where he's young. He has although they don't play up the intelligence thing a lot, like his sciencey side, he's more of I just happen to be kind of smart.
Yeah.
But I'm more of just a regular kid, whereas Spider-Man is more he's very geeky, really technical, really.
But I think MCU Spider-Man has in the comics where he does relief comic during fight scenes.
Yeah. He does that to the team. He does.
And Toby didn't really do that.
No, Toby. No,
Spider-Man is, I think, in my opinion, that's what he's known for.
Yeah, but in terms of like looks, yeah, he looks like a Peter Parker. He's wacky. He's kind of quirky. He's intelligent enough.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't show it a lot in the movies. It's technical like nerdiness, but he's intelligent enough to get it. And he does voice wise, and he does do like, a lot of the Spider-Man stuff, comic book accurate stuff. The only knock on having him, I think he's too pretty. I think he's too pretty to be like just like
Toby or
no, the other
MCU?
guy, Tom Holland, MCU.
Oh.
Like, you know what I mean? Because like you're young athletic kid. You're probably one of the better looking kids in the school. You shouldn't be. It shouldn't be that hard for you. Where he gets bullied or he's kind of like the loser. No one likes talking to him. You look like a popular kid. I think he looks too much like a popular kid. That I don't believe him being like kind of a down and out kind of underdog type of like.
Probably because his friend makes him.
His friend even more so. I think adds to it that you're definitely higher up on the high school totem pole. You know what I mean? Whereas Peter Parker is normally supposed to be somewhere in the bottom to middle. You know what I mean? That's my only knock on him. And I was like,
cause I think MCU Spider-Man is my favorite.
Yeah, and I think
he's the best.
And I think I definitely see because he's of age. He plays the character like a kind of should be like a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Toby really didn't.
Yeah,
Toby took it a little bit more serious. He played like a mature, older version of like a Peter Parker. But I would say that he has a little bit of everything. He can make you believe that he's tough enough to do it.
Yeah,
he's that the nerdiness really comes out from him.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also not overly pretty, and not overly ugly. And there's attraction there for girls to be like, you know what, I fuck the guy. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Where he has it, where he can get a girl like Mary Jane. It's believable.
Yeah, I think the biggest knock on that one is like he has like unlimited spider cartridges. His webs never run out. Now
I don't hate that idea though. I know it's not comic accurate. They thought of it being like, oh, while you get bit by a spider, it changes all your biology. Why not have it change that biology? You know what I mean? Like, and naturally come out of you. Whereas it's not a stretch. I mean, he gets bit, everything else changes. Why not? Why not have the physical ability to actually generate it in your body?
Kind of like the fly of the movie.
Yeah, kind of like the fly of the movie. Yeah. So I didn't mind it. That's why I think I didn't mind it.
Oh, okay.
Where Andrew Garfield, I think he actually did build it, and that one he showed them building it, which I'd like too. I like them both. Honestly, I like them both.
Because in the comic, he has a cartridge, right?
Yeah, he makes them, and that's like in Andrew Garfield they did it where he made them, which is more comic accurate. But I didn't really mind either one.
That makes sense when you put it that way.
Yeah, because he still gets beat up, and he was he still gets beat up, and it's not that big of a deal.
I gotta watch him again.
They're just great, man. Like the colors, the emotional dialogue. It was all just I don't know. We burned through all three of them, and we couldn't wait to watch the next one because there was that. Oh shit! Technical difficulties. They were just that entertaining, and fun to watch and nostalgic. I think.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. I liked them all. I haven't done a trilogy like that, and other than Star Wars, I would say watched 1, 2, 3.
Oh, Star Wars trilogy back to back to back is tough.
Yeah,
just because they're so damn long.
They are. So to get through 2 movies or 3 movies, it takes a while. It takes an entire day.
Yeah, entire day from morning to night.
So it was fun because I haven't done that in a while to watch. I didn't watch Lord of the Rings 1, 2, and 3 in a while, or Matrix, or any of the good trilogies. But this one we burned through them, so it's pretty fun. What else is happening in the MMA world? There's a lot. What else? Potential fights being made. Have you been watching anybody on social media like Instagram or Twitter? All their like stay-at-home stuff.
Yeah,
I've been posting some of them.
I heard a lot about them, but I just don't. I don't.
No, just watching. Everybody's doing workouts.
Yeah,
people are either working out, cooking, dancing.
I just do like podcasts.
Yeah, huh?
But I listen to my podcast. I don't.
Is anybody annoying? I was telling you who was annoying me already. the fighter and the kid and all them. They were like I watched. That's one of the podcasts I like to watch, and it was one of the I think when they started, I looked at as a good model for how to put a double podcast type of thing together, and how dynamic. I like the dynamic that worked because before that was mostly just Rogan and one person, you know.
Yeah.
So they were starting to annoy me, especially like Brendan Schaub, who I know annoys a lot of people, but I think it's just easily a target for a lot of shit. And I think, but when he does annoy me, he annoys me. And at first, like Brian and them he complaining about the quarantine, and then Brendan started bitching about it on every episode and being kind of snippy with other people. You could tell it was affecting him. And if you have to, I can imagine being his girl and having to fucking live with that guy or something like that. You know what I mean? Just
he looks like a fucking
just
dick.
Attitude or like that. And I know he's got like 2 kids, one that's like a couple months old. I'm like, which I know you keep shit private, and he seems like I have a guy that has his family life on lock. But you know, I don't know. It's just like I can imagine him being at home. If he's I have to take him while I'm watching a podcast for 45 minutes or whatever. It's like imagine being like, I don't know. Anybody back to that? Anybody annoying you?
No, because I pick and choose my podcasts really well.
Yeah,
like Joey G is Ariel. He just makes me laugh.
Because I like watching them, and I like watching people kind of like start to deteriorate a little bit, like see it affect them. That's I always liked watching podcasts.
Yeah, no, like
nobody.
No, like even though like Ariel and DC, I love their show, and John and Way are friends.
Yeah.
No, man.
It's not really affecting them. Like even subtle, like you see.
No, they just pretty much give the news and their little opinion on it, and they just move on.
Yeah.
They don't stay on the topic. I think that's why they don't annoy me.
I like to see people like where you could tell stuff starting to get to them. Being indoors is starting to get to them. They're a little bit more. Their attitude changes a little more. They're a little bit more. So I notice on some, or even when Rogan has people on, I like to see how they're doing. I just like to see how people are, and be like, oh, is this guy taking it well? Is he handling the quarantine okay? You know? So I pay attention to that when I see guests on other podcasts. Who am I watching? Or who else are you watching? I think it is Diaz, Hawani, Way and John.
I listen like the Vanderpump Rules podcast.
Is there a Vanderpump Rules podcast?
Well, there's like the AfterBuzz. I watch the after show.
Who's it with?
I listen to after shows. Just like their host, and then Stassi has their own podcast called Straight Up with Stassi.
Oh, damn.
I listen to her podcast.
Yeah.
What
is she talking about? Fashion and Hollywood?
No, it's like her drama outside the camera and how things work, production wise, and guys. And,
she talks about the show.
Like people that she fucked and like how she, shit like that.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
She was so hot those first few seasons. I know she got a lot of work done in the later seasons.
Yeah, she's not that bad. I think right now I'm almost on season 6, so season 7 is next. I think currently they're on season 8.
That's crazy.
I don't know how those people stay friends because they like bang each other's fucking friends. I know.
Hopefully that Vanderpump thing comes to fruition and things get back to normal, and hopefully in June you can go to the.
Yeah, if I do go, I'll come back and give you guys a review. But I'm excited to go. I want to go there in Tom Tom, for sure.
Damn, Brittany's stick.
She is.
I liked it. I don't know. I always liked that one. All right. Oh, what else? No, we're good. I was gonna bring up some other Netflix shit, but I would have saved that for another day.
All right.
All right. It's already getting late. We'll see you guys next week. Hopefully a brand new episode. And till then, cheers, and we'll see what else comes up in this whole MMA thing. So,
catch you guys later.